Hey everybody, welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, Love Talk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. I got the good people from Gateway Community College here today. They're going to talk about Alumni Association and all the good stuff. Hey, Victoria Dancy. I don't know the other person. Who's the other person? You have to unmute yourself.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us, Babz. So today with me, I have Joe Thomas, who is actually an alumni from way back. He looks amazing.
Nice to be loved.
and he's a part of the history, and he's actually a board member. He sits on the Gateway Community College Foundation board, where he supports and just really lifts the students here, our Gateway students. So that's who's joining me today. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Joe Thomas. So you got some exciting stuff coming up. So I understand y'all are starting an alumni association, or you're strengthening it, or you're expanding it, or you're recruiting for it. Tell me what the story is.
Yes, so we are actually launching the Gateway Community College alumni. It was actually a network many years ago, but historically, Babz, that Gateway opened its doors. It merged with South Central Community College in the state, Tech College, and they had two separate locations, one on Long Wharf and one in North Haven. In 1992, they merged and joined forces, and it became Gateway Community College. And so in that transition, a lot was actually lost. However, because we've just celebrated 30 years of Gateway, and now we're moving into a new era of education. You may know that the CT state colleges have merged, and effective July 1st, we were always a part of one family, but now the practices and the systems will be more centralized. And so we really wanted to, keep the Gateway Community College, this specific campus, tight net together, and really wanted to, there's some great things that are happening here at Gateway. There's some amazing people, and Joe is going to speak to what he's done over the last 20 years. And so we're building this network to just reinforce some lifelong professional and personal connections amongst the members. And so that's—
You hadn't had an alumni association before, or was it kind of informal?
Informal, yes.
Okay. And you could raise some money too, was from the alumni.
Yeah. It's
so
all
Joe
about
Thomas,
the Friendsgiving.
Joe Thomas, tell me your story.
Well, Babz, I was first born in New Haven, stayed in the New Haven County area. I went to a state technical high school, Eli Whitney Tech, located in Hamden.
I went to Eli Whitney, yes.
Oh, great school. From there, I went on to Gateway Community College, which was Greater New Haven State Technical College back in the early 80s. And it went from different locations. Matter of fact, they had a little campus at the old Eli Whitney school. Then they went to North Haven. So I bounced around that whole bunch of schools. And from there, I went on to Bridgeport Engineering Institute and then UNH. And, I did pretty much most of my education in night school, 18 years of night school. Ended up getting a master's degree in electrical engineering.
Wow.
Worked for UI and Avangrid. And it's been a great career, and it only reinforces that the state schools, all the way from high school through college, they provide value to the students in the area, and really you can have a great career. And what's important here, and I'm reestablishing, I'll say, the alumni, is it allows us who've been in the industries for many years to first and foremost give back to the school, and also give to the students a network, also provide mentoring, but it also allows us to give back to the communities where we've been born, raised our families, and lived.
All right, so Joe, tell me a little bit about, I know your classmates. Y'all probably were getting together over the years, seeing each other, and hanging out and staying connected. And staying on what's happening with each other's lives. So what will change? Will anything change when you build this alumni association, or will it strengthen what you've done?
Well, I believe it will strengthen what we've done from a standpoint of view of, yes, there are relationships that are formed in college over the years and families grow up. But what it will strengthen is really building our network, even as people that are working already, building our networks to help us develop ourselves in our careers. But again, most importantly, it will allow us to link the students to some of the industries which we all graduated from school, of which we've had long-term careers. And I could safely say at Avangrid and UI, we are always looking for students. Uh, we have internship programs, and we're looking for the next next generation of employees.
Mm-hmm.
And what better than to have students that are local?
And I think you make a good point, Joe, because somebody like you can say to your employer, listen, we want to look at gateway students. We want to look at those students. Like, don't jump over those students. Look at those students. I came to that school, and so you put the school on people's radars, which I think is a great thing.
Absolutely.
And Babz, just to Joe's point, just to piggyback, we, as I mentioned earlier, there's so many great things that are happening here at Gateway. We have some of the most amazing, unique programs. So, for example, we've expanded our nursing program. We were one of the first out of 2 schools out of the community colleges. We had 2 evening programs, but now, because there's such a demand for nurses, we've expanded that. So we've really had our a pulse as to what the industry needs are. We have one of the only clean water management certificate programs. And Joe, who's worked in utility management, one of the great things is because, there's a projection and many of the business sectors, there's a shortage and they don't have the skilled and trained workforce that they need. And so we've been really working hard at really educating these students and really trying to act as a feeder to some of the local businesses as their demand for skilled workers increase.
So Victoria, tell me something about the student body of Gateway. Tell me what it looked like, if you remember, if have some of that information, like what was it like in Joe's time, and what does the student body population look like now?
Oh, wow. Well, Joe can speak to what it looked like before, but I can tell you now, today, our student population is so diverse. And when I mean diverse in every way, from age, from different backgrounds, non-traditional students, really. This year we had actually a young woman who was 70 years old that returned back to school to complete her associate's degree. So there's a mix of everything. They're just non-traditional and they're amazing. And they come here to build their confidence, their GPA, and to move on to bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How many students are at Gateway? How many students are there at any given time? What's the enrollment?
Right now, we've seen a decline. The pandemic, a lot of schools suffered, but Gateway Community College is actually the largest community college in the system. And so right now, I believe our enrollment is usually we're over 10,000 students, and that's full and part-time students, non-traditional students. And so now we're I would say our number, the last time I checked the stats, our numbers are somewhere around 6,000.
Okay. And everybody is trying to recover, still recovering from the pandemic.
Yes.
Because COVID is still very much with us. So
yes,
everybody's still trying to cover.
Yes, and we've responded really, we've responded to the needs. I do know that when the pandemic in 2019, I'll never forget the day in March, we really we were able to see the technology divide. And so all the classes were remote, we were remote learning. So now in our future courses, we've really carved out a nice size to really meet the needs of those students that are online learners. So usually, historically, most of our classes were on ground, with the exception of a few hybrid and total asynchronous classes. But we've actually, in our courses, we've actually built a larger pool for students to actually access education in a asynchronous, a totally online platform.
So Babz, I just like to add to what Victoria said about the diversity. Yeah, we back in the early 80s, yeah, we had a wide variety of people, but now I think the school has evolved where you have so many different cultures. You have international students, and I think what it affords the new generation is what I call diversity of thought. Everybody always views diversity as a nationality, religion, but really diversity of thought is really what brings the students to start developing who they are as individuals, taking the best of what they hear and see from their fellow students or even alumni, and really create their style. And that's what I think is very exciting about today's new students, and also what the alumni can bring. Another point is that as an alumni, I just met a gentleman at a engineering symposium. He works for the railroad. He helped develop the entire curriculum for the railroad. That they have a special program at Gateway so the students can learn all about the railroad from an electrical standpoint of view and operation, and have a very good career into that industry.
I know my ex-husband was teaching in that program.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, but I learned a lot myself. I mean, I'm only used to going on a train, but he explained a lot about the dynamics of running the railroad system.
Right. Well, speaking of alumni, our WNHH station manager, Harry Droz, is a Gateway grad. So,
oh, great.
So make sure you reach out to him for your alumni association giving.
Yes. And I'd like to personally extend an invitation, and we'll actually be meeting this. We're launching, our first meet and greet, which is going to take place next Wednesday, June 21st from 5:30 to 7. And so we would love for you to attend. And we're just convening all of the graduates from the beginning and up until now, from then and now. And we're going to have a really great time networking. Networks are so important. They lift people. They lift individuals. They're informative. It really, I know, being a part of an alumni group, it really can help catapult your career as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think you're right, Victoria. And I think, I don't think people think about alumni associations for community colleges, but, as people get into the workforce, you never know who you know until you get into the alumni association that can help move you to another job or give you some buzz on a new job that's coming. So I believe in the power of alumni associations. So this is really exciting. So over at Gateway, I imagine, and you tell me if I'm wrong, that community colleges have way more flexibility than traditional four-year colleges and other institutions of higher education. That they really are on the ground listening to what people want and need for development.
Yes. Here, Babz, when I started here in 2011, I started as the outreach support coordinator in the healthcare areas. And I would go out to the high schools to really have conversations and with eighth graders and those that were interested in entering, nursing or the specialized programs like diagnostic medical sonography or nuclear medicine. And, I know that community college has always had sort of like a bad rap. I would hear students say, if I wanted to go to 13th grade, I'll go to Gateway Community College. But Gateway Community College is really, again, a great place for students to build their confidence, build their GPA, really get acclimated to maybe careers and explore careers that they may be interested in. And yes, we support our students. We just support them to just make sure that they're achieving the highest economic excellence that they can achieve. So we love our students here, and we listen to what they say. We listen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, Jill, talk a little bit about in your professional experience, talking about coming from a Gateway Community College background, and you're out there in the workforce with people who come with big, fancier, more expensive education and degrees. How do you stack your Gateway credentials up against that kind of thing?
Well, if you think about whether it's engineering or finance, in the engineering world, the laws of physics does not change between schools. What makes, it doesn't change. So the network, being your network and being part of alumni, brings value depending on the schools. But I will tell you this, the key to success is having professors that take an interest in their students. And that's a two-way. Students that take an interest in their own careers. And I was fortunate to have both at Gateway, to the point where sometimes the professors would invite us, a group of students, over to their house on weekends so we could study with them. But the key to really success is the student has to have a fire in the belly and a passion for success. Mm-hmm. So you can have the best education in the world, you can have the best network, but if you do not have a fire and a passion to succeed, you probably won't achieve your goals.
Thank you for that. So, Victoria, how many alumni are there? Do you know?
Yes, well, we have over 23,000 alumni members.
Whoa!
Now that number is not including. From the time the doors opened, 1992, as Gateway, there were 30,000, but the 23 are those that have graduated. So we do count those that have taken classes here, but the solid number for the total, graduates, 23,000.
Wow, that's so.
Pretty impressive.
Are you spending this week reaching out to all 23,000?
Yes, we have been flooding every social media platform, reaching out to all of our alumni to really get them involved. And this is just going to be the first of many great events. And so we're just really trying to get, the alumni engaged, because
are you hearing back from people? Like, are people responding?
Oh, yes. We are actually did the count on yesterday. We're at 75.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yes, so we're at 75 members that have RSVP'd to attend the event. Yes.
Okay. All right. So when people come on the 21st, what's happening? What's going to happen? I know you have a whole culinary program, so I know the hors d'oeuvres and stuff are going to be top notch. But beyond
actually, yes, we decided to do this, off-site, not here at the campus. We're going to have a lot of our next on-campus event will be our Hall of Fame event, which is our biggest fundraiser, where we raise funds for scholarships. But this year we decided to just kind of, go off-site. So we'll be having it in the community, the Elmar Stone company.
Shelton Avenue.
On Shelton Avenue, yes.
I know
So
it well. It's a beautiful space.
it's a beautiful space. And so we really wanted this to be, have a feeling of a social, network, a mix and mingle. And we will be having our president, Maduko, who is the president of all of the community colleges, come and bring words of greetings to the alumni. We'll have opportunity to network with the alumni that are in the room, exchange information, and really just start a robust kind of network and conversation, and then after.
Okay. So when people show up for the 21st at Elmar on Shelton Avenue from 5 to 8 or whatever it is, what happens after that? The next day, what happens?
The next day, we're going to, make sure we follow up. Whereas we're building. Joe is actually on the advisory board, and so we have an advisory board of maybe about 5-6 members that we meet, and so we'll be looking at our next steps. We're building a benefit package that will offer benefits to the alumni. For example, borrowing privileges to the library, just some of the tangible benefits, off-peak parking during maybe community events. So these are just some of the benefits. And of course, really to get them involved in our mentoring and ambassador program. And that's really to come back, pay it forward and come back and really mentor, coach, and do some professional development, for our students and our alumni, our current students and our alumni.
So Joe, what do you hope that the Alumni Association will do? Like, what do you imagine it to be? What's the goal?
The goal in my mind is to link people that have graduated with the students to help make the students transition easier in the business world and provide them guidance. And part of the association that benefits that Victoria was just saying is that we also want to link the students to understand the value of giving back to the community. So some of the things, it's not always work related. Get involved with city events, the Chamber of Commerce. Another big organization we'd like to link our students up with is the Red Cross. The Red Cross does a lot for the communities within Connecticut and never mind nationally and globally. We just, matter of fact, had a sound the alarm in New Haven installing smoke detectors in homes. So again, it's really the bridge. Some of us who have had successful careers, thanks to this school like Gateway Community College, to the students and make their careers more successful. One of the other things I also wanted to mention, you asked about the more highly priced schools versus Gateway. Gateway for myself was very affordable. It helped me establish a foundation and a career. And then I was fortunate enough to work for a company, of which most companies now have tuition reimbursement programs. So I view Gateway and really Eli Whitney Tech is really foundational towards building my career, and it worked out well.
Oh, see, that's the kind of testimony, Victoria, I think you probably want from your alumni to recruit other alumni.
Well, he's actually one of the testimony. He'll be speaking on that night. So yes. Yes.
Okay, so all right, so you got this event on the 21st. It's is it a week-long kind of bunch of activities, or is just this one time and then you start the ball rolling to build on this?
This one event, and as Joe said, we just really want to use this as an opportunity to network and leverage our network possibilities. As I mentioned, there's so many great things that are happening here at Gateway, so many amazing, successful stories. And Gateway is just that, the gateway to something greater. And we have students that Gateway may be they're only in final stop. Some don't desire to go on. but they've been able to achieve success by completing their studies here at Gateway. So
and Gateway offers things that are not necessarily degree matriculating. Like there's other things that you could take at Gateway if you just want to be in the community, if you want to be in the community college vibe, if you want to, like, if you develop yourself, if you want to,
right.
talk a little bit about those kinds of things.
So yes, we offer. So there's two sides of the house. You have the academic side, the credit side, and the non-credit side. And so our workforce development department is really really equipped with providing the stackable credentials, if you will, because we do know, Babz, that some people will never go to college or feel that they are not college material. Well, there's a place for everyone here at Gateway. So we do provide programs that are credentialed and that will provide students the skill set that they need to really not only set themselves apart, but to enter the workforce immediately.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And so talk a little bit too, Victoria, about some of the partnerships that Gateway has with community. Because I know that y'all are connected to other people and other organizations and other businesses.
Oh yes, we have some amazing relationships. As Joe mentioned, we are partners with the chamber. Most of the chambers, the Quinnipiac, the Hamden. We also have some really great partnerships with a lot of the local nonprofits that are doing the work, and they support our students. Most of the nonprofits are in this area. We share some of the same student population, but just different. So, for example, the Cornell Hill Scott is a very, very big partner of ours. We not only have clinical sites that are here, wellness sites that are here on campus, but we do a lot of partnering as it relates to fundraising for students. So we're very involved. We love our community and our region, and as mentioned, we have fellowships and partnerships. Joe was, just phenomenal with really connecting students. And Joe, could you really just talk about the opportunities when we talked about the opportunities that when partnering with the utility companies, the opportunities that these students would probably never, ever be able to kind of secure on their own? Just speak to that, Joe.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, we managed to bring in the Avangrid and UI, some of their management team, to meet with some of the engineering students. One of the leaders of the company will be joining a advisory board for basically careers to help really bridge any kind of technical gaps between Gateway and the utility sector. They're hoping to bring in the students to the actual work location so you can see what an electric utility or even a gas utility works. Everybody just seems to think it's pipes and wires, but in reality, with all new modern technologies, computers, there's so much more. Even on the energy conservation and customer service. So bringing the students to actually look at what happens, it only brings excitement to the kids wanting to explore different types of careers. It's one thing to read about them, but it's actually different to be in a control room and watching how the electric system or gas system is operating.
So, Babz, this is actually an actual pipeline. When we talk about positive pipelines, this is a pipeline to not only lift the community, but provide students with sustainable jobs that they can take care of their families. Can you imagine a graduate just fresh out of college, associate's degree, landing a job with one of the public utilities, and when Joe was throwing around these salaries, I said, oh, maybe I may want to rethink and reinvent myself if I can climb up on one of those utility poles. So it's really It's really exciting. And so that's what the alumni network, that's what the partnerships do, is really they're being used as a pipeline to really, funnel the talent, the skilled students to these jobs where they're projecting, Joe. And if I'm not mistaken, there's so many industries that they're projecting that there's going to be a shortage in skilled workers. So we need the help, and they're here at Gateway.
Okay.
And I think what the students will find is as they start their career, even coming out of school with a certificate or even associate's degree, as you start working, and everybody dreams of a certain job, but when you get there, after a little while, it's like, where do I go next? A lot of people always want to keep upward mobility, and the alumni will help guide them. And never mind, coupled with tuition reimbursement programs, life is it's a lifelong learning, whether it's personal or whether it's career. And I have friends that I went to school with back in the '80s. I see them almost once a week. So I mean, you're building long-term relationships too.
I like it. So my good friend Ruby Melton, you probably know Ruby Melton.
Yes, she sits on our board. She's one of the leaders. Yes.
Good friend. I know why she serves on that board. Joe, why do you serve on this board?
For me, I'm on the Red Cross board, and I decided that, I retired. I'm doing a little consulting work, but again, it was about giving back to the community, giving back to the school that helped me start. And then the company that I'm doing consulting work has a need for workers. So if again I can bridge all that, that would be great. I used to work for Yale University as an electrician, and an alumni of Gateway recruited me to come work for UI. And it worked out great. It worked out great. So the process does work. Process does work.
So Victoria, you're getting ready for this event. You're reaching out to alumni. You've got a long laundry list of alumni that y'all are emailing and social media finding and all of that. What do you want people to know about why you all are doing this? Like, why now, and why this push to strengthen the Alumni Association?
I think the greatest takeaway or the importance of this network is to stay connected. And there's just so many possibilities and so many opportunities that you can leverage if you just stay connected. And I think as Joe mentioned, you work there are so many people that are reinventing themselves. As Joe said, you get to a 20-year career and you realize that you'd like to change, or the pandemic has actually kind of created individuals to kind of reset and re-examine and look at other areas that they'd like to work in. So, strengthening this network not only provides the support for current students that are going through not just financial support, but the professional development support, but it also really allows those that have been successful to give back and to support and really lift students.
Well, I so appreciate you both coming on this morning and talking about Gateway Community College and its building its Alumni Association, with the kickoff June 21st at Elmar on Shelton Avenue. If y'all are listening who are Gateway graduates or Gateway alums, get in touch with Darcy, Victoria Dancy, and let her know that you want to come and show up on June 21st.
Bab, we hope that you'll join us too as a guest.
I might just pop by. You're in my neighborhood.
Yes, and it's a beautiful space. So we're actually the space, the gentleman that owns the space, we're gonna have, he makes all the pizza ovens for the city of New Haven. So we're gonna have nice pizza, nice refreshments, and it's just going to be a great evening.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Victoria, for reaching out.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to Joe Thomas. I appreciate y'all for coming on. And I'm a fan of Gateway Community College. So thank
Thank you
y'all.
so much.
All right.
Thank
We'll be
you.
in
Have a
touch.
great day.
Great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
You too. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, Harry. You're alum. I want to see you Wednesday at the event. You got your invitation from Victoria. So you that's your thing. So I'm on my way out. Thank you, Paul Bass, for running up on that wonderful med student. And she's a Latina, gonna be a cardiologist. Oh Lord, let me keep my heart strong long enough so she can become my doctor. I hope everybody's good. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's what, Friday? We'll be back. And y'all be safe out there. Thank you, Harry.